This window stands at the crossroads of the way we see the world today. It is the oriel window at Laycock Abbey in Wiltshire. Laycock Abbey was the home of William Henry Fox Talbot, born in 1800, a scientist, inventor and early photography pioneer who had a particular interest in lenses and chemistry. A lot of his investigations and experiments took place here in his study at Laycock. In 1826, Joseph Nicephore Niepce created the world's first ever photograph. In the following years, many photographers such as Humphrey Davy and Thomas Wedgwood worked to develop photography techniques but couldn't work out how to fix the image. In 1832, Talbot married Constance Munday and went to Lake Como on honeymoon. Talbot became very frustrated with his drawing efforts. Inspired by his knowledge of chemicals, he had an idea that would eventually change the world and the way we see it.
How charming it would be if it were possible to cause these natural images to imprint themselves durably and remain fixed upon the paper.
Scientists already knew that in bright sunlight, silver nitrate turned black, so Talbot experimented with coating paper with the substance, placing a botanical specimen on it and leaving it in the sun for a long period. He discovered that coating the paper with a solution of salt before the silver nitrate helped make the paper more sensitive. He also discovered that using a further salt solution of sodium hyposulfite fixed them, thus solving the problem that had plagued Davy and Wedgwood. On 31st of January in 1839, he read his first paper, Some Account of the Art of Photogenic Drawings, at the Royal Society, announcing that he had discovered how to fix images to paper. Since the 17th century, artists had been using the camera obscura to create realistic representations of nature and landscapes. Light travels through a hole in the front of the box. The image is then reflected onto a glass screen. Paper is then put on top and the user can draw the image directly from life onto the paper. Talbot had the idea of putting sensitive paper inside the portable camera obscuras and situated them around the grounds of Laycock. His wife Constance called them mousetraps. He was able to capture scenes from around his estate for the first time. Talbot discovered that if he used a second sheet of paper on top of his reversed image and developed it in a solution of gallic acid, he could produce a positive image from the paper negative. The picture of the oriel window at Laycock Abbey is the world's first negative to positive image, the basis of photography for the next 150 years until the advent of digital photography. Talbot called this process a calotype, from the Greek beautiful. He adapted his mousetraps, putting lenses on them, and by shortening the exposure time and sensitivity of the paper, he was able to get the time down to about 30 seconds, meaning that for the first time photographing people became possible, as well as being able to make multiple copies of the paper negative. In 1844, Talbot published The Pencil of Nature, the first mass-produced photographically illustrated book. He is also credited as founding the Reading establishment between 1843 to 44, a studio producing multiple copies of his calotypes. Calotype prints were even made into early films and animations. Laycock Abbey now houses a museum dedicated to Talbot and his photography, showcasing his impact upon the world.
I know of few things in the range of science more surprising than the gradual appearance of a picture on the blank sheet.
Having developed and printed my own photographs, I totally agree.